Well, it has been an emotional day in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, less than 2 hours ago, the gunman in a deadly, racially motivated shooting at the Tops supermarket was sentenced to life without parole.
You will never see the light of day as a free man ever again.
Strong words there from the judge. Joining us now on set, NBC News correspondent Rehema Ellis. Rehema, thank you so much for joining us. This was intense, to say the least, to watch. We always marvel at how the surviving family members can gather the strength to be in the room, to talk to someone who has changed their lives forever. But then something really unexpected happened today. Walk us through that.
Well, when one family member was speaking, making her impact statement, and looking directly at the man who's now been convicted and sentenced for these murderous crimes, out of nowhere, a man rushed toward the murderer, Gendron, and in an instant, police were surrounding him and subdued him and rushed him out of the courtroom. Gendron was rushed out of the courtroom as well. It just shows police were prepared. They didn't know that this was going to happen. It had not been telegraphed. But these are very emotional moments for families. And you never know when someone's not going to be able to contain themselves. And so police were ready for something like that to happen. And it did.
Absolutely. Tell us also, I know we heard also the judge gave the gunman the opportunity to speak. Walk us through what we saw from him, both in terms of emotion as he was listening and then what we heard.
One of the things what he said that he was sorry for what he had done, but it fell hollow on the ears and the hearts of the victims' families. They were not ready for this, even though there was every indication that they wanted it, but they didn't want it the way that it came. What they wanted was for him not to commit these horrible crimes in the first place. I think we have some sound of some more of what people were saying during the impact statements.
I'm very sorry for all the pain I forced the victims and their families to suffer through. I'm very sorry for stealing the lives of your loved ones. I cannot express how much I regret all the decisions I made leading up to my actions on May 14th.
Sorry, that was Payton Gendron talking about what he felt. And while he was saying this, people in the courtroom were yelling because they were not satisfied with his statements whatsoever. As one person said, one of the things that was so painful is that he came from a long distance to Buffalo and targeted people for something they could not change, and that was the color of their skin.
Oh, sit with that for just one moment. Rehema, this is not over. Though he was sentenced to life in prison just a couple of hours ago, he's still facing other federal charges.
He absolutely is. The mayor's office put out a statement yesterday saying tomorrow this young man, will be in federal court for procedural matters in reference to 10 counts of hate crimes on the federal level. Some are saying that they think that he finally did make this apology, even though he pled guilty to these charges. As far as the federal charges are concerned, it's expected he's going to plead not guilty. If he is found guilty, he could face the death penalty. Some think that he's trying to mitigate that kind of a sentence by what he did today, making this statement, expressing regret for what he did.
All right, very powerful reporting from an emotional day. Rehema Ellis, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rehema.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.